The issue of color for children, it's a jobs issue, good green jobs, to be technologically advanced and sharing that with other countries that need uh, to to get their climate needs met. It's a security issue. Our national security experts tell us with all of the things that you know, the rising sea levels, the drying up of rivers, the encroachment of deserts, the thermal warming of the planet, all of these things could cause migration and competition for resources as well as habitat, and therefore it's a security issue. And most of all, it's a moral issue. We have a moral responsibility to pass this planet on to future generations in a way that is responsible. I and my dear friend Sally, the Reverend Sally Bingham, we believe, well, I don't speak for her, but I believe this is God's creation, and we have a moral responsibility to be good stewards of it. But even if you don't share that, we all share the responsibility to our children, grandchildren, and future generations. In this legislation that is pending, that we are still finalizing, the climate piece of it is 3 buckets. It's important for you to know that 3 buckets, they're all about jobs and they're all about children and the future. Climate. The climate bucket is very, very important, and whatever, shall we say, modifications we make, we have to have in there the ability for us to reach our goals and curbing pollution and the rest in preparation for COP26. Climate, and more on that as we proceed. Secondly is health care, Affordable Care Act, Medicaid, Medicare, very important part of the legislation. And third, the family. And again, health care is about jobs, climate is about jobs, and the third is the family piece of it. And the family piece of it is how we build back better in every respect. Build back better with women in the workforce, workplace training, all the rest of that. And it's about child care. It's about child tax credit for families. It's about home health care, so important. It's about family and medical leave. It's about, as I said, child care, but also accompanying with that, tied with that, a universal pre-K. The list goes on and on about how we enable families to care for, honor their home responsibilities as they honor their career responsibilities to provide for their families, and at the same time have respect for the workers who are doing these jobs, whether it's child care, home health care, and the rest, that what they are doing is an important part of our economy. Largely they're women, many women of color, and that's why we're saying build back better. When we do this, all of this, it's with everybody at the table. Our friends in labor who are Rudy, and thank you, Olga, for being here. It's about having the enviros at the table. So thank you all for being here as well. It's about having business. It's about having farmers. It's about having Native Americans. It's about having everybody at the table. And I only named a few. It's a big table, so that when we have a solution, it is a solution, not a declaration that is alienating, but a solution that is unifying. So again, what we're here today about is specifically about the climate piece. This is our moment. We don't have any more time to wait. And when I was speaker the first time, the climate was my flagship issue. That was when President Bush was president, and later we would have President Obama and do health, etc. But this was my flagship issue. We passed the biggest energy bill in the history of our country in terms of addressing our emissions and the rest of that, but it wasn't the climate bill. We couldn't pass that in the Senate. You need 60 votes. We couldn't do that in the Senate. So that's a number of years ago. That was like 2010, and it was urgent then. Now it is a level of urgency that is an imperative that we get this job done in preparation for COP26, which is right around the corner, and to do so that helps us honor our responsibilities, but also share with other countries, developing countries, technology or resources that they need to meet their responsibilities for the children. Now, we have some very special guests here today. Our distinguished senator from California, Alex Padilla, so active on so many fronts, including this one, in committee, on the floor, in legislation, whether it's about electricity, whether it's about school buses and clean energy. For that, the list goes on. He'll talk about that. He brings to the Senate his experience from the the California State Senate when he was there before becoming Secretary of State. So he is well equipped for this fight that we're in. Well, hopefully it's not a fight, this discussion that we are in, so that we have the resources to meet the challenge that is our imperative for the children. After we hear from Senator Padilla, we'll be hearing from Eddie Ahn, and Eddie is director of Bright Line Defense. He's the executive director of that, and who is advancing equity and environmental justice. Equity and environmental justice is such an essential piece of this legislation, because environmental justice and just equity in terms of how we proceed if we don't do that, we are abdicating our responsibility to the future. We cannot just build back the way we did before. We have to build back better. So Eddie will talk more about that. Dr. Daniel Kamen, professor of energy at Berkeley, on the cutting edge of climate research and public service. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamen, for being with us. And then the Reverend Sally Bingham, President Emeritus of the Regeneration Project, reminding us of our moral duty to protect the planet. You've probably seen Sally at one time or another, any number of times at Grace Cathedral, any time people come together to talk about God's creation, this planet. So with that, I'm very pleased to yield to the distinguished senator from California. We're so proud of him, and we're so proud that he was effective from the start on protecting the planet for the children. Senator Padilla.